Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, your number one opinion source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola as he sounds off on the latest movies, TV, music, gaming, comic books, and more. Now, here's the man of the hour, Marco Mazzola.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast. I am, as always, your host, Marco Mazzola. And ladies and gentlemen, we have an extra special, extra large, double-sized episode for you guys today. That was not a commentary track. Just want to get around the room. So we have with us today, we're going to be talking about trading places, and we are more than happy to have the three geeky dads and a Tito in the house with us, in the studio. So we're going to go around the room, and just everybody gets to introduce themselves. We'll go clockwise, so we'll go to my, so you know who I am, so let's go to my left.
I'm Derek. I'm from the Three Geeky Dads.
I'm Bruno. I think you know me from this podcast, and I'm a karate man.
And you karate man. Karate man. We bleed on the inside.
Karate man, bruise on the inside.
Bruise on the inside.
We don't show our bruise on the outside.
Hello, I'm Brian from the Three Geeky Dads.
Welcome.
And I'm Larry. Hey.
I'm Tito, the Tito.
I am still Mila.
We've been trying to get that work done, but we'll...
Hey, wait a minute.
I don't know who the hell I am anymore. I'm Mark from the Three Geeky Dads. Hello.
Hello, everybody. So we want to welcome all you guys to the show. We're so happy to have you guys here. We've been trying to get this together for months now, right? Like, we've been talking about doing a crossover episode. Mm-hmm. This is the crossover episode. Fuck nice. Freddy versus Jason. Fuck Marvel versus DC.
Podcast multiverse.
The crossover episode.
And Entertainment Rants.
That's
this
right.
Is some good shit.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be a hot fucking mess.
It's gonna be 8 people who do not give a shit that somebody else is talking. So get your ears ready. This should be interesting. So we're starting off today with Trading Places, 1983, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
I was
it
looking it up. Yep. Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy star, and I don't know. I mean, I grew up with this movie. Again, and as my wife will attest 100 times, I watched way too many movies I should not have been watching at that time. Like, I saw this when it came out. I'm pretty sure I saw it in the theaters. I was 7 at the time. 7 years old when this I was born in 76. So I was 7 at the time when this came out, and watched it in the theaters with my mother. She just like, he's going to watch it eventually anyway, so let's just take him and we'll go together. She got to enjoy it as well.
It was a preemptive strike.
It was. It really, really was. So my wife constantly weeps for my childhood. And I also saw Eddie Murphy Raw when it came out.
Your mother took you
with
to
my mother.
Movies.
And recently we were talking about that. She's like, "Wow, how did you see that? What did you?" I'm like, "You took me." I'm like, "Yeah, because I remember you laughing when he kicks him in the ding dong in the beginning."
It was a different time.
It was a different time. So let's go around the room. We'll go backwards this time and say, when was the first time you saw this movie?
I actually saw it fairly 2 years ago. About 2 years ago. When you grow up on committing to just horror, like I tend to do, you tend to forget there are other genres out there. So finally, when I got a little older and realized, there's a whole world of cinema out there that doesn't have a masked killer or a monster. I kind of caught up. Yeah. Started with Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction and said, "Hey, watch other movies besides horror." And said Quentin Tarantino to me never, but in my head he did. And Trading Places was one of the movies that I caught on later in life, but I still liked it. I'm a huge John Landis fan. I love most of his movies, and this one right up there.
They're huge hits. Huge hits.
He's a killer of children.
Yeah.
He killed kids.
Yes. That was an unfortunate helicopter accident.
Tell him the story, Mark. Tell him the story.
I'm not gonna. No. You want to see table flipping? This is my first time here. I'm gonna be here.
Tell him about the time he killed a kid.
I'm gonna tell him about the time Spielberg killed the kid and Landis got thrown under the bus.
Wicked.
Yeah. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, rifled right under that bus for that one.
You mean under the helicopter?
I love that. Yeah. Mila, how about you?
The very first time I watched this was, let me reach way back in my memories.
2 days.
Today.
3 days ago.
Oh my God.
3 days ago. Get it right.
Who had 3? Check the squares.
When I was the ripe old age of 3 days ago. 3 days
Mila's
younger.
what, 13, 14? How old are you now?
Oh, I'm like 12 and a half now, actually.
3/4.
Yeah, 12 and 3/4 if you don't mind getting it right.
5 A's. I thought you were working in 8ths, right?
Yeah, an eighth.
She realizes she's an adult.
12 and 8/5. That number doesn't make any sense. No.
She's not a
It's all
minor.
type problems.
Dino, how about you?
I saw this when I was very, very young. I feel like me and you probably live the same life. Because every time I show a movie to my wife, she's like, when did you watch this? And I was when I was a
Came
kid.
out. When it
You'd
came out.
never seen it? What did you
In
do
the
when you were a
theaters.
kid? And she always thought, I played outside when I was a kid. And I was like, well, I didn't.
My wife hits me with
I
I was
watched
watching the news.
TV
and-
was my babysitter.
Yeah, right. That's what I did.
My wife hits me with I was watching the news. I'm like, well, I wait for your childhood then.
Yeah, right.
That sounds perfectly boring and depressing.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, her household, they watched a lot of news.
Walter
things like that.
Cronkite was my
Oh,
hero.
yeah.
Oh, that sounds one of my favorites, though. One of my favorites.
Yeah, I was probably about like the same age, 6, 7 years old when I first saw it. I grew up with older uncles who were all into this shit. So like I was raised by my grandmother basically, but within the house was my aunt, my 2 uncles. They were like my brothers and my sister. So anything that they watched, I watched.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why I saw a lot of shit that I shouldn't have watched.
Yeah.
But this was absolutely one of them, and this was fucking great. I was like, there's boobs on the TV. That's awesome.
Big plus, definitely.
And Jamie Lee Curtis is
First time she got
Yep.
in the buff.
Yep.
First time, she was 25.
Yeah, she said, I'm done
There was
being
a lot
the
of
final girl in
topless-
horror movies.
I'm done being the scream queen.
Yeah, totally.
That's it.
Check these out.
Look what I got going on.
Dropped.
I have other attributes. Sellable in Hollywood.
Yeah.
The assets.
Yeah, don't forget she can act too.
Yeah, the
Larry.
assets too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She, no, not she could. She can act. She's an excellent actor.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
a great dancer, too.
No, yeah. True
As long as
lies.
she holds onto that pole, it doesn't fall off.
As long as she holds on to it, she's okay.
That was an unfortunate
Giant
slip.
snow cone machine.
What's the one with her and Travolta where they're in the workout room?
Blowout?
Perfect?
Perfect.
When she's doing the fucking... we can swear on here,
Oh,
right? I'm
fuck
sorry.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, fuck yeah.
Tino, have you not listened to that podcast?
I have, but then...
He's a liar.
And Larry was swearing the whole time, and I was like, I can swear, but then once we start recording, then I start thinking people could hear me that.
Should it be?
I don't care if I offend our audience. I care if we offend your audience.
Don't worry
These
about
guys here are our audience.
it. Don't worry about it. Because our audience heard the Freaky Friday episode. They're gone now.
Oh yeah. After that one, yeah, no,
Like
that's.
Father Like Son and vice
Oh yeah,
versa.
the numbers have been
we will
dropping.
take
We
care
can
of
hear
that.
them happening.
Now I want to do
Definitely.
that for one of my picks.
Yeah, we will take care of them.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. All right, so what's up? Look at that.
Your turn.
Like Marco, I saw this in the movie theater, but I'm a little bit older than Marco. Instead of 6 or 7, I was like 16 or 17. I was in high
More
school.
of a proper age.
Yeah. I was almost old enough to get in legally, but I think my friend Ron and I snuck in. And I loved it. I've seen it like every year since, either on cable or video or whatever. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this movie. Love it.
He won't.
can't
He
or
can't and he won't.
I can't tell you
He
won't.
won't do
Can't
it.
make me do it.
What are the real answers
Not
here?
gonna do it.
Wouldn't be prudent.
Not gonna do it.
Not prudent.
I saw this movie when I was 15. I'm not going to say what year that was.
Well, I mean,
I'm a little bit younger, but no, so like 1985, 1986.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was fun. I love this movie. I think, I think they had a great cast. They chose good people. The storyline is financially doable. In fact, there's the Dodd-Frank Act was basically
the Murphy Act.
Named the Eddie Murphy Act. So it was a cool movie. It was fun. And there's a lot of boobs in this movie.
Yeah.
True.
So as like
True.
a young,
Can confirm.
as a young man, I was like, wow, this is
Yeah, right?
great, right?
Wow.
And Jamie Lee Curtis looks beautiful,
Spectacular.
and like the whole thing, everything worked about this movie.
I was about the same age, a lot, further down the road though. But I had like a kick of watching all the Landis movies, all those like the great '80s comedies, because I was too young when they had originally come out. So like when I got a little bit older, I just kind of like immersed myself in them, and this was in the list, and it was great. And boobs. Lots of boobs.
Lots of recurring theme here.
Marco, I think we have the title for this episode.
Yeah, there it is. Post it.
What I gathered from that round table
But you should write it out like 8008.
Yeah. You gotta keep it classy, you know.
It's an older code, so everybody checks out.
107 episodes. Now we're gonna class it up.
Yeah, right. So when I got out of that, the
Special
whole thing
occasion.
was my childhood, your childhood, and your childhood all were fucking deranged. These guys waited till like they were like adolescents, teenagers,
it's a rated R movie.
proper age to watch it. We're like, fuck, 6, 7, 8, let's rock.
I had no choice but to wait when it came out.
Boobs.
Like, wow! Oh my
Talk about like
gosh!
getting introduced to so many things that we again should not be getting introduced to. Everything we will go from the top of the list.
I mean, it was the 80s.
The 80s. I mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
seatbelts were mere suggestion.
80s is its
Yep.
own genre.
Didn't matter. So yeah, like I said, my mother didn't. She's like, "We want to watch it? All right, let's go. We'll go for it." Meanwhile, I had a friend of mine who I grew up with. His mother was like somebody in his family had to go see the movie first to approve it, so that then he could go see a movie.
Unusual in the 80s.
Yes,
Unusual.
very unusual.
Wow.
Interesting.
This is
Spend the money
This is the
twice.
same person who by accident said shit in front of his mother, and I almost jumped out their den window. Because when I saw her eyes, I was like, I'm fucking out of here.
Something's
Dude.
getting thrown.
I'm
not getting caught in
Someone's
this
dying today,
crossfire.
and I'm not doing this
Whoops,
over
honey.
freaking watching, playing Double Dragon. Not okay.
I don't know. My dad would just drop me off at the movie theater. He's like, yeah, go ahead. He's like, what are you watching? I'm watching My Little Pony. He's like, yeah, I don't care. Go. Here's mine. Really?
Seems legit.
Whatever. And then that's when
$10
as a
bill to you
kid,
and wish you luck.
and at that time, at that particular movie theater too, was here in Somerville, you would go buy your ticket. You go to the front, they take your ticket, and then
Assembly?
you walk in assembly,
Yes,
and there was like all the different movies.
Oh, so you could just like wander into any one?
Yeah, we used to do that. I used to do that in Taunton at the Galleria all the time.
Yeah.
Theater hop.
So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Done that a couple
and you would
times.
do that.
Make a
I would
whole
spend
day
like
of
the
it.
whole day
Oh, yeah.
with like $5 because I
Yeah.
bought the ticket and I was like, I'm gonna watch this movie, that movie, that movie.
Get out the newspaper, look, check all the times. All right. This one is
Yeah, this one ends
an
when
hour
that
and a
one-
half.
You do your
All right,
research.
So we can do that one.
And, if I was like, when am I picking you up?
We had the whole
give me like 6
$2 cinema
hours.
at Crockett East. Remember
That's
that?
right.
Doing.
Yeah.
It's a long movie.
Yeah, nobody cared if you got in there or not. Just
No.
as long as you didn't get shot, you were okay.
That was a good day.
One movie to another. It's like, oh,
Good luck,
nobody
kid. Keep your
cares.
head down.
Yeah.
Did you pay for this movie? No. Are you packing? No. Okay, have fun.
Have fun.
Yeah,
If you hear a popping, duck.
Yeah. Another Saturday
My
of coming home
childhood
with
in
no
Brockton.
bullet holes. It's
That's
good.
what
That's a
that
good
was,
Saturday.
kid.
Welcome home. Any holes in your kid? No, I'm good.
It's a good day.
Fantastic.
I did my parenting. I came home without bullet holes. Right out loud.
That's
All
about right.
So let's talk about the actual movie itself. Who wants to give like a synopsis of the movie? I'm gonna hand it over to the three geeky dads because you guys are far better at doing synopsis than we are.
Don't look at me.
wanna-
I don't think I've seen it enough to get a full synopsis. I think it should be one of you.
Tito,
guys.
you're in the
I
big
mean, it's
leagues
pretty
now. So go
straightforward,
ahead.
man. This fucking rich fuck.
Fucking
Tito, why did you give him the go ahead?
my virgin ears.
He's basically been given everything you could ask for and finds himself in a situation where he mistakes someone for attacking him. It doesn't, which is the Eddie Murphy character. Eddie Murphy gets arrested instead. And Randolph and Mortimer Duke decide that they want to place a little wager based on, what is it?
Nature.
Nurture.
Nurture, right.
Yeah.
You switch their roles and they'll succeed where the Don Amici's character doesn't believe that if you come from good stock you'll be successful no matter where you are, and that is not the case. There's some really great watching Dan Aykroyd fucking fail is phenomenal. As much as I love the actor, he's phenomenal.
Watch him pull that
And
salmon out of his fucking pocket. Beard makes me gag every goddamn time.
Pulling the hair out of his mouth, you go,
I
oh!
ban my wife from the kitchen when I'm cooking.
It sickens me. That salmon, he fucking.
And he's on the boss. He looks at the
And he's got the hair in it.
Oh my
He's
god!
trying to pull it out from between his teeth. Disgusting.
Brian
My
sent
wife
a gif of that
my wife
yesterday. I was
has
eating a
curly hair.
cheeseburger at the time and I looked at it and I was like,
One hair
You
falls
feel
like that,
disgusting
you're
just
done.
watching it. You're like, oh!
absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And he runs at him with the gun. Great
Zombie
film.
groan.
Surly Santa.
Great movie.
and that was just only like just a little bit of it.
So then they trade places. They end up.
What?
He-
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, you know,
No
I just
way.
got the whole fucking theme of these 4 movies.
All right.
It just hit me. Vice versa.
Welcome to Sunday.
No, because I'm like, there's magic in every other movie but this movie. But then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. They fucking trade places. Literally, as opposed to metaphysically.
Thanks for showing up, too. Appreciate it.
Amazing.
What are you doing
Amazing.
next month? I got you, dog. This motherfucker.
Tito, you got me beat. I thought we were going to talk about one of those house remodeling shows.
I'm like,
That's the second
There's a lot of HGTV last night, motherfuckers. Prepare.
well, there's no magic. There's no magic. So there's, it just was not connected.
I mean, there's holiday magic.
That's right.
This holiday magic.
Just like Die Hard.
I'm with Mark.
Nah, he won't throw it during the podcast. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Marco.
No, it's okay, Larry. Continue. Give us.
So what else we?
What else we got?
So we're out. So they trade places.
They trade places.
As we've been told.
Lewis gets locked out of his apartment or his brownstone.
Yep, loses all his shit.
He gets framed.
Yeah.
They frame him for robbery
With
and
heroin.
heroin.
No, PCP. Angel dust.
Hire a prostitute to kiss him.
That's right. Hires the
Frank Oz, the legend. Fucking Frank Oz.
Frank Oz.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but when he said they're going, and he's talking, I'm going, oh my God, Fozzie Bear's locking you up, dude. This is fucking
It's like the
wild.
same character he played in the Blues Brothers, also directed by
Yes.
John Landis.
Yes.
It's like his good luck charm.
He makes a great cameo in An American Werewolf
Yeah,
in
he
London.
does.
And
Mr. Kessler.
And it's like listening to Fozzie Bear going, these dumbass kids, they don't appreciate anything. Fozzie Bear just called kids
I
dumbass.
can appreciate your tone, Mr. Kessler,
Yeah.
but
Oh, I love it.
Kessler.
It's fucking Grover, man.
I watched it, and so first, when I was watching this movie, I see the credits, and it's like, all right, yeah, Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, John Amici, And I saw it's like Frank Oz and James Belushi, and I went, holy fuck, I forgot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which I don't know why he was in the. He's only in it for a second.
Right.
It's a cameo.
I mean, so was Frank Oz,
Right?
too. But I'm guessing maybe it was just
They were
like,
big names at the time.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Right, but I think, so I thought about
This
it
is right after John's death, too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking is they probably, I think they wanted that role for John.
Yeah.
And then,
I think they did.
just kind of like a friend thing, like, hey, you know what, we wanted your brother, but we want this role, and
Yeah.
why don't you do it for us?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I got off of that. But I like that it says
He's
Mr.
not
James.
available, so
Yeah,
can we?
he's tied up right now.
He's dead.
But
I
not
guess we'll
equivalent,
bring you.
lesser,
Yeah, the
You know,
lesser Belushi.
The lesser of the Belushis. But I was like, holy shit, Frank Oz and James, not Jim, James Belushi.
Yeah.
Like, really?
I was watching last night, and my wife was like, Bo Diddley.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yeah, wait. And then it got to the scene where he's in the fucking pawn shop, and I'm like, Bo Diddley.
Bo Diddley.
Here you go. That's him. That's Bo.
That's
Burnt
another
my
thing.
fingers.
This isn't stolen.
This whole movie was loaded with cameos.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, you know what? People saw it going, you know what? This is SNL cast. The good SNL cast.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever you want, man. 2 seconds, I'm in it. You know,
Yeah.
whatever. And I thought that this was a perfect movie for
Yeah. Fucking Al Franken was in at the end.
Yeah.
You know, long before he became Senator Franken.
Was it him and is it
Davis.
Steven? Oh yeah, but who?
No, Davis. That was his old. They were a comedy duo way back
all
in
right.
the day.
For
Franken
some
and
reason, I was
Davis.
thinking it was like a really
He
young
does look
Stephen
like.
Wright.
Yeah, he does look like him, but it's not
Oh,
him.
I can see what you
Yeah.
how you
Did
would
look
Yeah.
like.
make
Yeah.
that connection.
Also, a very young Giancarlo Esposito.
So I was going to get that.
Oh,
He was a
yeah.
cell- he was a
Oh,
cellmate
yeah, in the
number
cage.
two.
Number two,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was watching this on Amazon, and whenever you watch whenever you hit pause, whoever's on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all the info.
So I saw him, I went,
The
wait a minute,
X-ray.
and I hit pause, and sure as shit, Giancarlo, cellmate number two. And that's fucking awesome. And
Yeah.
that same part,
You
the
have
other
something
cellmate,
I want.
which was Clint Davis,
Yeah.
which is the other barber from Coming to America.
Oh yeah,
Boom.
There was a bunch like that.
yeah.
Oh,
The
that's
Duke brothers, the
that's
guys
the
that played.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
shit.
Duke brothers were.
The Duke brothers played
vagrants.
themselves in that.
Vagrants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all
Oh, yeah,
pouring
yeah,
on the
yeah,
streets.
Yeah.
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 So
That was a cool job.
I love
Yeah,
how
it
they
was.
do that.
Yeah.
Right. How they drop
See,
each
John
other
Landis
in.
is making his own universe.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
universe.
Oh, yeah.
It's a comedy
Shared
universe.
universe before they had a
extended
share.
comedy
Marvel's bunch of
universe.
copycats.
Yeah. Right.
So is he one of the first directors to do that? Would we consider him like? Because now everybody seems to do it. Now
Yeah,
everybody
like
has
what,
the
a
stable
shared universe?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time about the stable of actors.
Oh,
that
yeah.
directors like to use.
I mean,
Were there other directors back
Universal-
then?
There were other
Universal
directors that did it.
movies
Yeah, they're a bunch.
connected
yeah.
actors together.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
The John Hughes universe.
Yeah.
Don't they all cross each other at some point?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they
because
play the
John
same
Candy's the
character
devil.
though.
That's why.
Who?
John Candy's the devil.
John Candy's
He's
the devil.
And there's a fan theory about that in Home Alone. John
I heard
Candy
about
is
that.
actually the devil. And because I guess planes, trains, and automobiles fits into this universe too, because he's actually seen as the devil at one moment,
preventing Steve
There's
Martin
a
from actually getting home on time.
Yeah, there's a whole shared universe with John Hughes movies where John Candy is supposedly the devil in every one of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, even Uncle Buck.
even especially
I believe that.
Cooking our garbage. Only the devil would do something
Only
like
the
that.
devil
Would cook your
would
garbage.
encourage feeding
With a snow
kids.
shovel.
With a shovel, the big
Big
Giant
kid with a-
pancakes.
yeah.
Couldn't
that
even
was
get the
another good
sausage
movie.
through the door.
My angel. What are you talking about? Be my guardian angel.
Oh, yeah.
right?
I
He's
miss
pretty.
John
He's pretty
Candy.
quick to punch that
Giant
clown,
pancake, you
man.
kidding me?
You know?
He deserved it.
He did deserve it.
I'd punch a clown. Fuck clowns.
I'm with
I
you.
didn't realize there was like
in
a
front
lot
of all those,
yeah.
in front of
There's a lot
all
of
those
clown hate
innocent
happening.
children.
Brian's got it. Brian
we had
doesn't
this
like clowns,
conversation on
and
the
I
way
guess
up here.
Derek doesn't either.
What?
You don't like clowns? Brian was saying how much he hated clowns.
Yeah, I'm not a-
Who likes clowns?
I don't
I'm
do
kind
it.
of
offend anybody
indifferent
that
about
does.
clowns.
I'm indifferent about clowns.
Yeah.
I just don't like.
I know my
them.
sister had a
I don't
huge
think they're
fear
funny.
of clowns. Probably still does.
I don't know why they exist.
I work with the
You know what? There's nothing better than a sad clown in my book.
I work with the whole.
Now a mime.
We're all a bunch
I like
of clowns.
mimes.
Mine's
I dig,
fucking weird.
I dig mimes
Mine's
because they're
fucking
fucking
weird.
weird.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
I like mimes.
I'm like, man, look at them.
They might,
mime.
yeah, because
How
they're not really
interesting.
clown. They have makeup.
They're French clowns.
French.
That's the difference.
all you need to know.
French and clowns. They're French.
They're sophisticated.
That's what a normal Frenchman does, isn't it? Like they're
What,
all
just mime
when no
everyone?
one's looking, they're like, you
Walking
know,
against the
miming
wind.
along.
Well, you think
And then
every
the second
Frenchman
you
walks
look
against the
back,
wind
they're
when
like,
everybody's
oh.
backs are turned?
You know?
This is what they do.
They start returning their stomach boxes that are invisible.
Yeah, they're like the box.
Everybody walks like that.
That's why they never get anything done.
They're all just sliding across.
Get to work.
The French, ladies and gentlemen, they love their Jerry Lewis. That's all they do.
That's it.
They love our Jerry Lewis.
So who's gonna round out the movie?
He's a French national.
We got some. Who's gonna round out the ending of the movie?
Oh,
So,
so
go
oh, yeah,
ahead.
no, go ahead, Mike.
No, no,
no, go ahead.
no big deal. You do it.
So they eventually they come back together. They meet each other again, and then while they started the movie as enemies, they decide to join forces because the idea that these two rich old assholes bet $1 on their lives, they're gonna get them back, and so they come up with this.
that Dukes. It was that Dukes.
I love that. Yeah, we'll definitely go around the room and talk about our favorite parts of the movie, what worked, what didn't. Yeah.
What there's things that didn't work?
I mean,
I
think
don't think
it was
it's
any
one
fat
of those
on
movies
this
where
movie.
the things didn't work.
I don't think there was any fat in this movie.
It wasn't enough tits.
True.
No offense.
Derek, you can say boobs, all right? Come on.
No tits.
This is a family show.
I mean, if you saw Wolf of Wall Street, you realize there weren't enough, right?
I know, right? We're talking Margot Robbie here.
I mean, please. Oh my God.
Margot Robbie.
Oh, Margot.
You know,
Let's have a moment of silence just to respect.
my 7-year-old self would agree with that statement.
Right,
And this
right,
is
yeah.
not enough boobs.
Like they teased us with it at the beginning, and then never again.
Yeah.
Then they try to give a story.
They were originally going to
I know.
have Richard
Pathetic.
Pryor and Gene Wilder as the two main
That's right.
And
characters.
that's
I
what I
love
was
that.
I mean, at that time,
That
too,
would have
they
been a
would do it-
totally different movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
if-
yeah.
I
And that movie was
don't
called
know.
Brewster's Millions.
I can love that movie.
But how different would it be though? Because those guys, that's Eddie Murphy is Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor is Red Fox.
I mean,
So when you
but
look at that line-
their interpretation of those guys are all different, right? How they show up and translate on
Yeah.
screen, it matters.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
Richard Pryor, like, I can't. When Richard Pryor was on his knees in the park trying to, pretend he was a blind veteran,
Oh, Eddie
it would have been a
Murphy.
different
Oh,
take.
Eddie
if
Murphy.
Oh, yeah,
Richard
yeah,
Pryor- I'm
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
Eddie Murphy.
The Richard Pryor
would have been
version.
different if
Different
Richard
take.
Pryor had done it.
Yeah.
Right, it would have
Oh,
been.
yeah.
It just would have been different.
Yeah.
And then
Their styles are totally different.
yeah, and then as professionals, when all of a sudden Eddie Murphy was like, that's the one critique.
I'm a
I
blind
have.
man, right? I'm a blind man.
The one critique I have is when Eddie Murphy took to trading like that, right? There are guys that study trading for years and never
Yeah,
quite
they-
get a
they
grasp
still
on
don't
it.
get
it. Yeah.
And so he immediately understood the underlying currents, what to look at, and how to analyze this. And so that was like, But Eddie Murphy.
Was it because he was a hustler?
No.
But
they give him
he
a
says that though. He
It was
does say
because-
so when Dan Aykroyd's trying to explain to him, he's like, "You gotta do this, you gotta do that." He was like, "Oh, you mean it's like?" Blah, blah. He was like, "Yeah," and he goes, "All right, I got it." So like,
No, he didn't. No, all he explained was what commodities brokers are. He just said, "Oh, you're like a bookie."
You guys are like bookies.
right. Yeah,
That's
he was
their
like, "You
out.
guys are like bookies." Oh, okay.
And I love that part where he like breaks the fourth wall when they're trying to strip.
Yeah.
Like, as a child, he like,
Yeah, he goes like, and with these things you can make a BLT sandwich, and then he just looks at the screen like, well,
Lettuce and tomatoes.
But
that was in
his
hindsight.
deadpan delivery, I think, matters. It would have been different.
So, yeah,
and
that-
Gene
yeah.
Wilder would have been different as the Dan Aykroyd.
Oh,
character.
yeah.
I just
Oh, yeah.
can't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It was a better fit with
That
Dan
would have been.
Aykroyd.
It would have been a. I want to say quieter kind of performance, not that like
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd's jumping off the walls or anything.
No,
Yeah.
but Wilder's
he
much more
talks
subdued.
fast,
Yeah.
and Wilder's more subdued.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Wilder's got it in him. He has those
Oh,
moments
no,
where
yeah,
he
they
can
do.
just-
No, he can definitely go
Yeah, but
crazy.
it's just, it'd just be a different
Playing
animal.
Snobby, I just feel like that's what he would go with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He would be
Wilder
screaming-
is someone's like stuffy. He's because it was like he was a stuffy rich guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't see him being stuffy.
Like even in the beginning
Oh,
of
I
Young
think-
Frankenstein,
I feel
he's
like he
very
can do it.
calm until he
Yeah.
really gets into
his
reviving
heritage
Peter
stuff.
Boyle, and now he's
Yeah.
screaming.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Frankenstein.
Why isn't it
Sensitive.
Frederick?
Well, they were wrong then, weren't they?
Miss Abby something. Abby normal.
You know, I'm a very accomplished doctor. I can help you with that.
Sedative. That's all I can. I mean, I love that movie. I've seen it so many times, but I just every time he goes Sedative, that's just my favorite part.
It's very good. It happens early too, which is nice.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta
We'll
go
get to that one.
Yeah.
We will
Yeah.
definitely get to that one. That'll be our
If
next
If you're out there
crossover.
and you haven't seen it, go see Young Frankenstein.
Yes.
And honestly, if you haven't watched Young Frankenstein yet, find a different podcast to listen to.
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Fucking,
Now
Yeah.
I've had time to say. I just put it on my list. Look, it's on the top now.
Did you put it at the top of the list?
It's right at the top.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Did you guys notice in the movie, and it struck me now because I'm sure in the 80s wasn't such a big deal. So initially they referred to Eddie Murphy's character as a Negro.
Yes. Yeah.
And then in the
Yeah.
middle of it, he was like, I would never have an N-word run our company.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
hearing the N-word was almost jarring.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're like,
I
oh
agree.
damn.
Even hearing Negro, I was just like
Yeah.
immediately like, this doesn't really hold up too well.
But then once he says it, you're like,
Yeah.
oh.
When we talk about like any like bad hits for this movie, it is as I wrote it here, it's like right out the gate, it's like holy super racist is this fucking movie.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's necessary because it's
part of the story.
Yeah,
The whole
it is-
idea
it is kinda necessary.
I get that, but like,
demonstrating how bad these people are.
right, but it
how
wasn't
wrong
just
it
them.
is.
It's like the company, the club that they were all a part of, right? They
Oh,
were
yeah.
Thank you,
all,
Mr. Mortimer. Maybe I'll go to the
know.
movies
They gave him
by
a $5
myself.
raise.
I love that guy.
Yeah. Now I can go see a movie.
Everybody's like, I'm like, oh my god! But like
Thank you,
everybody, like,
Mr. Randolph.
when they go into the board to sit down, everybody sits down and they have
And all the black butlers.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
holy fucking
Yeah.
oh
Yeah, they leaned into
Yeah.
it.
And that's
they
how
really
they
are.
were.
But
That's-
it's kind of, I
it's
don't
an
want to say it was a
illustration.
product of the time, but I mean, it's kind of like Blazing Saddles was. Like, I mean, that movie can be considered racist as fuck.
Sure.
But I mean,
Yeah.
they're actually making fun of the racists by
Yeah.
doing
Right.
what they're
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
in that
Right.
movie.
Right.
Illustrating how bad it is, not agreeing with
no,
it.
exactly. And that's the
Because it's
line.
still, and the
And that's
most
what they're doing in
important
this one,
thing
too.
is the fact that it's shown in a light like that.
Right.
Because sometimes what they try to do is they try to show it in a light where it's okay. And you're like, even if you're uncomfortable, the movie pretends that it's like, oh, this is fine.
Yeah.
But in this, the way it's
Big Trouble
shown
in
and the
Little
way
China.
Right,
everyone
yeah,
reacts
exactly.
to things
You couldn't
and
do the
stuff,
Mandarin
you
like
can
that,
tell that
like,
it's
which
just
is what
not
he's supposed to
right.
be.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
you're
Nice little-
supposed to be. You know, that's kind of fishy. You're supposed to feel that way, and that's the way the movie's framing it.
Yeah, they're
which is the
aware they're
important
doing
thing.
it, and
You know?
they're doing it for a purpose. It
Yeah.
serves the story. They're
One
not
of those
even- I
like
don't even think
curveball
they're-
lessons that like,
Yeah. back in the
they're
day.
not
Like,
just doing
people
it
there's gonna be
for
racist
shock
people that
value.
see this movie. Let's fucking poke them in the chest and make them look in the mirror.
Winding them up.
Right, yeah.
There's that fine line between clever and stupid.
Go to 11.
Bowl the
Got it,
size of a
got him, bro.
tangerine.
I didn't.
Sorry, Larry. Sorry.
It's
That's
tangerine.
Tangerine.
I never saw trading places.
Can we talk about, first of all, how fucked up the bed is?
Oh, I know.
You had these two gentlemen.
$1.
Well, first of all, it's $1.
Which
But
they don't learn that
Until later.
Yeah, and neither do we.
They just like the
yeah.
usual.
Oh, yeah.
Today's dollars, that's 3.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Let's keep it in perspective.
Keep it in
right.
perspective. But here's
Thank
the
you.
fucked up part. They're willing to destroy this guy's life.
Yeah,
He's
for a
fucking
buck.
engaged to their grandniece.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, sorry about your bad luck.
Constance Fry.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Constance Fry.
Peripherally, I think they saved him a lot of brain damage, right? She didn't really care about him,
Right.
so they
Yeah.
saved
Oh yeah.
So-
she was screwed up too.
Yeah.
She was, but
Yeah.
my question was, when he went back to like the club and now she's like with the other guy there, whatever, how come he wasn't like, bitch, give me my ring back?
Yeah.
That would be the first thing, like, give me my ring, the ring that you had on your finger. I'll take
probably-
Well,
that.
maybe he was
By
hoping
then,
that
yeah.
like there was still something, you know, where he's like, "Hey, it wasn't actually me," you know, like,
Yeah.
blah, blah,
Or it was
blah.
paid for
I didn't
by
know
them.
that was.
Well, that's what I was going to
that's
say.
true.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Owned.
Yeah.
It's
Was
almost
paid.
blatantly obvious that like he's not going to survive. They're
Yeah.
giving him everything he's getting.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what his parents did before that to get him to whatever Ivy League school to get this job, but like
Sucked a lot of dick.
his car, his house, like everything is
I mean, if
everything
you know,
is somebody
It
else's.
happens. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, his whole life was owned by them.
Santa's sack full of dicks.
Like the bag full of chicken wings or the bag with the baguettes.
Yes.
What kind of bag of dicks?
I know, how big's the bag? Actually?
Is that the
Did
Louis
you guys
C.K.?
notice that Dan Aykroyd's arrest number was the same as Jim Belushi's in Animal House?
Oh, no, I didn't notice
That was a nice
Good
little callback.
pickup.
That was a
See?
callback to it.
I like
I thought
that.
they did
Bruno
that.
dropping knowledge.
There's
Yeah,
a
he
bunch
is.
of those in there. Did you notice the See You Next Wednesday poster?
I did. I see it in every John Landis movie.
In Jamie Lee Curtis's apartment.
Yep.
And it had Laurence Olivier in it.
It did.
I don't know how
Yeah.
now I don't know if anybody knows. See You Next Wednesday, if you've seen Kentucky
Oh, it's
Fried
Kentucky Fried
Movie.
Movie.
Yeah, that's where it
is
originated.
The name of it's a porn, actually. Not an actual porn, but it started out as a porn.
Not yet, anyways.
Yeah.
Was it Kentucky Fried
Yeah,
Movie?
give it some time.
No.
Tito's
American
Shock
Horror.
if it didn't exist.
No, it was in American Werewolf in London.
But it
Had
had
to
a-
See You Next Wednesday.
It was in
Yeah.
Werewolf.
That was the that was the movie that was playing
movie
at the
that
porn
they're
theater.
watching.
In the Blues Brothers, it's a billboard with a gorilla on it.
Right.
Yep.
And in the Michael Jackson Thriller video, that's the movie they're
That they're all
watching.
watching.
Michael Jackson and Ola Ray in the
Yep.
beginning are watching See You Next Wednesday.
Yeah. Does it show up in
Oh.
Coming to America?
That's amazing. I had
I think
no
so.
idea.
I think it shows up in all. his
I thought so too, but I can't
See,
remember what it was in Coming to America.
So it's things like this that when I watch like older movies, like all little Easter eggs, you
Yeah.
now you try
See,
to
that's
find.
more that's interconnecting the John Landis universe.
Yeah.
I like
Just
that.
Well, I mean,
kids.
including the gorilla. The gorilla is right
That's
from
right.
Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
Dino.
And shows up at the end of this one.
Yeah.
It shows up on the poster in Blues Brothers.
All the connectings.
See that?
So what was everybody's favorite part then? Got a favorite part of the movie?
Mine is the jail cell.
I mean, the Blues.
Yeah.
That initial
Right at the beginning.
scene when he's like, "Yeah, the phone in the limo's busted. What is you ignorant?" I absolutely. It's not cool
Karate
being
Man.
such
Yeah.
a jive turkey so close to Thanksgiving.
That's one of my favorite
I absolutely
quotes.
love that scene.
Yeah.
I'm a karate man. Karate man bleed on the inside. I love that.
That's a really good scene. That is a really good
I'll
one.
keep going. Didn't I tell you that the phone in my limo's busted and I can't get in touch with my ladies? Yeah, the phone in the limo's busted. Who wants to go next? Or I'll just
See,
keep
I
going.
like the scene right after. I'm gonna build on that because I like the scene after that where he goes to the bar and he tries to be all flashy, and half the people that were in jail are in the bar, and they all end up coming back to the brownstone with him, and they throw the
Oh,
party,
yeah.
and fucking Coleman's getting down while he's having drinks around,
So
and then he gets all pissed because they're all breaking his shit, and he's
So-
like, "Get the fuck out of my house!"
So going on that part, I thought the transformation from ghetto fab to like responsible
Oh, yeah.
was
Yeah.
like fucking
Oh yeah,
overnight.
Yeah.
Just
exactly.
that, like,
His
that
first day at
morning-
work, it's like, oh, all right.
Like
Yeah.
that
I gotta
morning,
work
he's
on
like,
this
shit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not even like a montage, right?
No,
like a
there was
montage
none.
of days.
No.
It's like,
No,
It
no,
just
it
happens.
was-
I see. And then that's
It's
it.
like he gets to the brownstone, he's
Put
like,
on
oh,
the
so
suit.
this is my shit, right? So you're gonna tell me
Yeah.
that this is my TV, and oh, that's my stereo. And he's pocketing all this shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He fucking buys everybody. Next thing you know, he's like, get out of my house. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, what the fuck just happened?
I
Like,
know.
literally.
It was still a
No,
funny
and then the
scene,
next
though.
day he was like, well, pork futures are.
Yeah.
Prices are going to go up based on the history.
It's so
of it.
funny that this feels like
Yeah,
it's
what?
like
Look, it's
probably
Christmas time.
3
Everybody gonna be
days,
paying
and all of a
rent.
sudden everyone's completely different.
Hey,
It's like, how did you learn about pork futures? Do you even know what futures are? Like,
Well, it's because the guy's wife won't have sex with him, and then he can't buy his kid the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip.
Obviously, come on. Get with the program.
What I love about Eddie Murphy's character in this movie is like, yeah, he was homeless, and he's clearly a scam artist.
Yeah.
But there's no like, yeah, he likes to drink, but he's not an alcoholic. He's not addicted to drugs. Like he just has learned how to survive.
Yeah.
His entire life. So you flip him, and he gets put in this situation where he's like,
Yeah.
well, this is a scam. What can I get my hands on before
Yeah.
they kick me out of here?
Yeah.
And then it's
I
like,
mean-
oh no, it's kind of a scam, but not really. So let me flip it and see what I can do
Right.
within this
And
situation.
Lewis, on
And
the
you don't
by flipping the
100% know his
coin.
backstory
Right.
either.
And-
Yeah.
know,
Right.
And Lewis is the exact opposite. He's put on the streets and he has no fucking
No
clue
clue.
because he had everything handed to him.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
has no idea how to survive on the streets. He has no idea how to do anything.
that's why kids nowadays got no chance.
Goddamn Gen Z. Sorry, Mila.
You know what?
It'd be like that
It
sometimes.
simply do be like that sometimes. On God, for real.
I mean,
For real, ass one motherfucking woman. Watch out.
I don't think that.
I grew up in
I mean, like you said, T, it's not. I don't think he was actually homeless. I think it was just that was his hustle. He was like, all right, I got to make $1.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's like, I'm just gonna hustle my way through it.
That's right.
And let's live it until it fucking. Let's ride this train till the wheels fall off. Literally.
Yeah.
And-
Plus, you got a running time you have to follow anyway, so
Yeah, that's
you
true.
gotta-
Right.
you gotta gloss
Yeah.
over.
I mean, his debt at the bar was
certain
only $26. So I mean,
different.
you know, it wasn't like $300. Like,
Yeah,
what
but
do you
as
do?
Bruno said, that was an $83.
Yeah.
True.
You know what's the math on that? When you got math on that, Bruno, real quick, what's the math?
We gotta run the
It's like
calculations.
$80. Like $80.
That was like a
That's still
mortgage in the
doable.
80s, right? That was somebody's mortgage.
I wonder what the fate of that guy in the gorilla cage. I wonder how he's doing
he-
now.
oh,
I wonder how he's doing
He ended up
now.
being a principal for the
How about the
Breakfast
two
Club.
guys on the receiving
That's
dock? They're
why
like,
he's
you're
so
supposed to get
angry.
one gorilla. We got two. Oh, okay.
Yeah, whatever. Can you see they're in love?
Nobody cares.
It's like, look,
see
they're
they're
in
in
love. And he's like,
You can't break them up.
You can see his eyes behind the mask. Like, is so big.
Scooby-Doo eyes.
Scooby Doo.
oh yeah.
And then, like I said, then he goes on to become the principal of the Breakfast Club.
That's
So
right. And that's why he's so mean to everybody.
That's right.
now it all
That's
makes
it.
sense.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's all in the same universe.
I can see it now.
Now he's pissed.
Now it's
Barry
clear.
Manilow, no, you raid his wardrobe.
No, but I was once fucked by a gorilla, Bender, so
I got a right to be
Take it
sour
easy.
about
That's
life.
right.
I think.
You mess with the bull bender, you get the horns.
That's why
If
the
you mess with
toilet
the
paper's
gorilla.
hanging out of his
Yeah,
pants.
that's
You get
where
the
he
banana.
learned the gesture.
Oh, you got the banana.
Yeah,
I got you.
2 months.
2 months. I got you. He was doing sign language.
Kinda, yeah, it was like Jane Seymour? Jane Austen? Jane who?
Very different
Dude, what the hell is the gorilla?
Who's the gorilla woman?
Goodall.
Jane
Goodall.
Goodall?
Jane
Jane
Goodall.
Goodall. Yeah, Jane Goodall's the chimpanzee
Django.
one.
Dooley.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorillas in the midst.
Gorilla my dreams.
Not the rap
Gorilla
group.
Gorilla my dreams.
Now you understand why we invited them here.
See that?
And this is why.
And I don't think Marco has said one thing this
No,
entire
I
year.
It's an intro. I'm just waiting for my hill and
Your
he's
show.
Kind of nice. It's kind of nice.
Isn't it?
Right? It's almost
Do
peaceful.
this more often.
We're all just taking
got two
turns
next weekend.
talking. It's crazy.
It's a nice change of pace, isn't it?
Well, Marco, what was your favorite part?
I'm waiting for my hill to die on.
Do you have it lined up? Are you waiting to attack, or are you waiting
Was
to
it-
find out what
was
it
it-
is?
I know what it was.
I know Marco's Hill. It was because what's her name's character,
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis's character in the train chose a Swedish accent and was supposed to.
Oh, see, I was going to go
yeah.
even worse.
Oh, you're wearing
That was-
lederhosen.
that was
wearing
That was like my favorite
I thought you were going to defend
scene.
Dan Aykroyd in
Everything.
blackface.
That was rough.
Dan Aykroyd's blackface in there. Oh,
Right? You're like, what a
Even for the
decision.
80s.
How bold, how brash.
I was
How-
when I was rewatching this
Oh
with
my
my
God.
wife, that's exactly what she went. As soon as he came on, she went, oh.
It's like what I do. It's like,
gotta just stop for a second and go.
So it's funny.
The Haley Selassie Pavilion. That is a cultural pavilion.
But again, it was.
Oh no, it gives me the wind something awful. Ooh.
That was probably one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, oh, mine.
It was really
Was the
funny.
train scene.
It was time for
That
a
was
Swedish
cool.
meatballs.
Oh yeah.
It was terrible, but it was also
Oh yeah, it's,
really funny.
this was probably like one of my favorite things about this
Also
movie.
conflicting.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, for
Eddie
sure, for
Murphy
sure.
being Eddie Murphy at fucking his best.
Oh yeah, he was
Yes.
at his
In
peak.
this prime.
Dan Aykroyd is probably one of the best straight guys I've ever seen in a
Yeah.
comedic duo. There's definitely a couple of other ones that I like, but he's probably like one of the better ones. And watching the dynamic between the two of them,
They worked
back
well.
and forth, it was fucking.
And the
Oh,
comedy
it was
with Jamie Lee
fantastic.
Curtis.
And
Like,
she was
like
excellent.
all three of them were on fire in that
so
scene.
Yeah.
good.
It was
And
it was
then
amazing.
the butler went.
Denham Elliott. was-
Denham Elliott.
Oh
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
I like the
Joe
butler. I
Gold.
like the butler.
Yeah.
Marcus.
Fucking classic.
Got lost in his own museum.
He did.
Lost his own museum, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's great as Marcus.
Oh yeah.
But that was probably one of my just
Yeah,
favorite
three-day head
scenes,
start.
man. That was awesome.
Yo, Marcus, you're
That
awesome,
and
too.
Dan Aykroyd just finally losing his shit. and
He knows every
fucking-
custom.
the
He's
salmon
speaking
through his
That might
beard.
be my
Little
favorite
boy.
scene. I
made that all up.
I think that's
Excuse
where
me,
I was
does anyone
laughing the
have the
hardest. Because like you guys had said, the beard sticking.
Beard
to the
sticking.
Oh, yeah.
It's
And it wasn't
repulsive and
just-
it's funny. And the look on his
Yeah.
face.
Oh.
The look on the two ladies looking at him. And it's just.
He's just so despondent and doesn't give a
He
shit.
doesn't care.
He-
I mean, it's fish. It's like.
funny in general.
Oh my god.
I know, it is gross.
Stealing everything.
Yeah, just
Went out,
pocketing
company
food,
pocket.
fistfuls.
It's
Oh yeah, he's
fucking
got his
great.
pockets full of dinner rolls.
Takes the
Yeah.
fucking-
I don't know
Santa
why
Claus.
this is,
I
but I
can't get over
find
the fish.
is the funniest food in anything, in any story, in any movie. You mentioned
could hit someone with
Batman.
a
You
fish.
mentioned Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna say, "Oh, remember when he ate the fish in that
Yep.
movie?"
Oh,
It's
yes.
Like I don't know what it is. They're just funny. Fish and
Every
yeah.
part bites the
Fish are
guy's
just-
nose and
Fish are
Take the
friends.
most
Mark.
serious
Not food.
movie in the world and put a fish in there. People are gonna laugh. I don't care what the it could have been Sophie's Choice, but you stick a fish in that movie at any
And you
time.
got a comedy.
You've got comedy.
You got comedy gold.
Gold.
Look at Tito can't even look.
The fish in Airplane.
working for that
Oh, yeah.
for years. So it throws out the fish.
Noises off. The sardines and noises off.
That's right.
You know, that's.
Fucking love that movie.
We were talking about that, and Marco loves Noises Off, and he was telling me about it.
It's hilarious.
I've gotta watch that.
I hadn't seen
Sounds
it, and
Sounds good.
we've been talking about it so much lately
Yeah.
that I had to watch it. And
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
I had just watched it for
We're
the first
there.
time before the
The-
holiday.
and now I know why you were comparing it to the Goes Wrong show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Totally.
So that's
Exactly
when
what
I heard you guys doing that. I
Oh,
was
you
like,
gotta check it out, you
shit.
guys. Funny freaking show.
It's great.
Sardines here.
I think he should come on a little earlier. Like putting him on is he putting me on?
Thank you, Gary. That's very lovely. Now, will you do me a favor and get off the fucking stage, please?
Yeah, see, I definitely have to watch this.
You gotta watch
yeah,
it.
you
It is
love it.
classic.
Yeah, no, it's great.
All-star.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm glad you guys turned me
I mean,
onto it.
Is one of my all-time favorites. And that was like a sleeper movie for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I saw it again when
Under
it came
the
out in the
radar.
theaters.
Totally under the radar.
Totally under the radar. I saw it when it came out in the theaters. Again, too young. And you got Nicola Sheridan running around with basically
barely
nipples
anything on.
the whole
Right.
time, which was
Thank you.
fantastic.
Nipples all over.
Absolutely fantastic part of the movie. But then like it's one of those movies like I had it on tape or out the tape.
Ah.
Now it's like, well, my wife and I will put it on at night to go to sleep.
Really?
So, yeah, we know it so well.
Uh-huh.
You know, once we hear the cells and it's time, we're there. We're like, okay, we can go to sleep now.
That's the time.
And it's really cool to see Christopher Reeve doing something other than Superman.
Superman.
Yes.
And also kind of sad
Yeah.
because, you know, that dude had more range
Like when
than
I
I think.
recommended
Yeah.
Death Trap
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he did with Michael Caine.
Death Trap. Yep.
Death Trap was really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
the
good.
two of them.
Yeah.
Oh, I started that, but I didn't end up.
Oh, you got to
yeah,
finish it,
I
Tito. It's
started
good.
Death
Oh, he's
It's
Trap.
really
funny
good.
guy.
And did
And
you
it
mention
was similar.
Somewhere in Time?
Somewhere in time. That's what I was thinking of.
Somewhere in Time.
Oh yeah, I just recommended that
telling
with
me
you.
about that,
We were
yeah.
talking about
With Jane
that.
Seymour.
I want to check that out.
Yeah.
Not Jane Goodall.
Not Jane Goodall. No.
Okay.
No, not Jane Eyre.
Not
Not Jane
Eyre.
Austen.
There was a gorilla named Christopher Reeve.
Not Jane of the Jungle.
I got a hill for you with this one.
All right, give it to me.
So it didn't occur to me until I rewatched it the other day, but I have never drank concentrated. Like, I've never had one of those frozen orange.
Really?
juice
No
things.
kidding.
Really?
Wow.
Never.
Concentrated
Never
orange
in my
juice?
life.
You haven't lived.
So clearly, I don't think they should be making much money. Because
So-
That was huge.
it's-
man.
it's-
Wow.
You gotta like
Fuck.
shot with the wooden spoon. You gotta like
Yeah.
smash it with the wooden spoon. And
I remember, like, I remember with the
Yeah,
Canadian
yeah,
Flag,
yeah,
you
yeah.
could feel like
I would melt a little, pour some more water in.
I never once had
No, we
it.
drink it all
So
the
it was
time.
like
Oh, yeah.
Italian ice, man. That's
Yeah.
you can eat it
Yeah.
for dessert.
that's it.
I used to eat it
Or it
sometimes.
could be a breakfast
You're
drink.
missing out.
Is it still around? Do they have it?
yeah.
Still make it.
Oh, yeah, it is.
We grew up on that. Also,
Derek, I got
lemonade.
some in
open
my
that
freezer
can.
downstairs.
You-
Wednesday
you-
night when you go home,
All
I'm
right.
gonna give you some.
Okay.
It might be grape though.
I might have it
You
at
good with
like
grape?
while we podcast. I might just.
it's really
Jesus,
good.
I'm gonna have to start it at noon.
It's super pulpy and it's amazing.
We used to have that.
It's a
the
block
orange
of ice,
juice.
Derek. You gotta let it defrost.
My
Take it
dad
out of the
loved
freezer now.
lemonade.
You
first.
don't chew it.
Lemonade
Yeah.
too.
You don't.
You can't chew it. Well, there's a little bit of chewing.
So,
But I never understood because
I'm a
I had that
popsicle
growing up. So I never understood like why is that.
it's to hot
commodity.
because it was
So
in
all the
everybody's
commodities,
freezer.
they're just anything that's a commodity is like really readily available. So they just make bets on how things are going, and so they can sell and buy, and it's usually a futures market. So there's a lot. So what they actually did in this movie was essentially a reverse short squeeze. So it's like a long squeeze. So like if you guys hear about what happened in the GameStop stuff about a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
so that was a legit short squeeze where this hedge fund of Melvin Capital maybe bought a ton of GameStop expecting it to drop. And then the word got out in some financial forum.
It was like a Reddit.
It was
Yeah,
a
it was
Reddit.
Reddit.
That's
It
what
was
it was.
Reddit.
But it was like a Reddit financial or
It was
whatever.
like a setup.
Oh, there's
And
a
they,
Reddit
and
for
they were
everything.
like, look, let's put these guys out of business. And they started running the price up. And the problem with that is that when you buy a short, you're betting the price to go down.
Right. So you
when
gotta dump it somehow.
That's right. So as soon as it goes up, you start dumping. But they bought like a $2 million position. So when you start selling selling $2 million worth of stuff, it drives the price up again. When they were buying, they had to buy, not sell. So all of a sudden, their own activity shoved it up. So then these guys in this movie were doing the other way. They took a long position, expecting
Right.
the price to go.
Cornering the market.
Yeah, they were trying to corner it. And it was like a perfect financial situation, which is then why one of the sections in the Dodd-Frank Act was like, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And they named it the Murphy Act.
Wow, listen,
Eddie
wait,
Murphy.
Oh, that's good.
I watched this movie and I watched it going, I have no fucking idea what's
and they-
going on.
Right?
They
I'm like,
And they even
but
try to
they
break
are-
it
they
down
are
to
doing
you.
it. Whatever they're
Like,
doing,
I love that
they
scene
are doing
where
it.
the scene
tell by their
right
faces.
before the stock
Yeah.
market, and they're showing like it's all B-roll of the stock market
Oh,
at
yeah.
work, and Dan Aykroyd is explaining not to Eddie Murphy, to the audience,
Yeah.
like this is how stocks, this is what's going on, and like he breaks it down so seriously. They like I tried to pay attention and learn, and I still.
Yeah.
I tried
Somehow
my
Derek just
damnedest.
ended up with a BLT. I did.
Yeah, they lost me there.
He's like, the only thing I got out of this was BLT.
A sandwich.
No, I'm hungry. Fuck.
Swallow my own
So
tongue.
that's what's in a BLT.
so.
Oh.
Basically, you know, this
No.
movie was a sandwich and a distaste for salmon and a beard.
And lots of boobs.
That was enough for me, though.
Brother's having a heart attack.
That's satisfying.
Turn those machines back on.
Yeah. Don Amici would only do that in one take because he disliked swearing so much. He
Yeah.
said, "I'll do it, but
no
I'm only
kidding.
doing one take," and they had to
And
get
he
it.
nailed it.
And he would
Yeah.
apologize
Oh, yeah.
to the staff
Yeah.
and
Well, I
crew
was
after
going
he
to say,
swore.
this is the
Yeah.
first time I've ever seen Don Amici play a jerk.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if he has in other movies, but
Yep.
judging by what I've seen from him, yeah, he's usually the
plays a
kind
good
old
one.
guy,
Yeah.
and he's really good in it.
John Landis thought Don Amici and had no idea who he was when he hired him.
Really?
No idea that he was whatever.
I mean, seasoned actor for how long? I mean,
This is pre-Cocoon?
it's an old war
Pre-Cocoon?
injury.
Oh, okay.
He hears
Post
Don
Cocoon?
Amici.
I thought it was something I did.
Pre-Harry and
He just runs up. We don't know.
Yeah. It's urgent. We've lost him.
Was it something I said? Do I offend?
He was like, oh, fuck Don Amici. That reminds me.
Now's my chance.
I had to pee.
Did you see a hypnotist once? And every time somebody says Don Amici, he has to get up and run out to the parking lot.
When he gets back, see what? Hey, Don Amici, see if he runs back.
It's like, oh no.
All right, wait. Okay, so hold
traffic.
on.
Somebody-
This is a good time to tell you why Jason X is awesome. All right,
Because then Larry can't say shit.
Dude, the cryogenic, like the nitrogen
Tank.
liquid nitrogen. Death
I
is
just
like the
if
best
you
thing
don't
in the
like
world.
that movie, you don't
He
like
like
fun.
shoves
That's
your
what I
face in
say.
it, and
What's wrong with
you
just
see it
having
freeze.
Oh, it's
and then he
great.
takes it out and smashes it against the side. It's fantastic.
It makes total sense. A little scientifically.
I always like
Demolition
the
Man.
full
Science,
circle
it's
sleeping bag when they bring the
Demolition
sleeping
Man.
bag back.
Oh yeah, on the holodeck.
Yeah, and
when
they're
they try to fool
they're
him?
giggling inside the
Yeah.
sleeping bag. I always thought that was hilarious.
You want to smoke some pot?
Great movie, genius.
So I still quote the ending when they're on the island.
Oh yeah, you do.
Feeling good.
I know you do.
Billy Ray, feeling good.
Amici?
Don Amici.
Yeah.
What about him?
Last time I ran out to pee, we thought it was an old war injury or something.
I said, did somebody hypnotize him once? Whenever somebody mentions Don Amici, he runs out into traffic.
There he goes.
And I was out of here like big fucking bats.
Larry's like, they're on to me.
They're on me, fuck.
Abort.
I thought it was a Winter Soldier thing. Like we said.
No thoughts behind it. Just go.
Time to go.
Don Amici commodities.
Boobs. 17 times. You say boobs 17 times. Boobs. Salmon.
I want to go
And
back
oddly enough,
to
Jane
the,
Goodall.
I want to go back to Daniel Aykroyd literally losing his shit because that whole sequence that was probably like my number 2 favorite part. Right? Yeah. It's him going into the party, stealing all the food, fucking
Yep.
with the gun,